everyone. If today is your first time joining us, I see quite a number of people saying hello here and there. We have some people live here on YouTube and some other persons on Zoom with us here. So hello Teniola Lawal, hello Titi Yan, and every other person joining us. We are excited to welcome you back again. If this is your first time joining us, allow me to introduce to you the Purity Journey community. We are a community of fun, loving, we are happy people, and we actually just believe that purity is attainable, contrary to what the world today says, or contrary to what the society says, media is saying, contrary to what, the truth is the world is saying something completely different. But we are here standing as a community of people who have agreed, or not just agreed, who know that purity is attainable, and therefore we are standing holding holding one another accountable. We know that purity is a journey, and in case you're wondering how is purity a journey, you can go back and check our session from last 2 weeks ago, which was the 5th of July, where we discussed the 6th of July, where we discussed purity as a journey, what makes purity a journey. And that's a really great foundation for anyone who is just joining this whole conversation or wondering what are these guys talking about. Yeah, that's a great place to start from. How is purity a journey? Because we do know purity is a journey. Taking it one day at a time is how you are able to actually make good success out of the journey. It's not a set of rules and regulations, it's black and white. You don't do this, you don't do that. Purity is not meant to put you under bondage. Purity is actually freedom. And of course, you can follow us on social media. On Instagram, we are at the Purity Journey Co. The Purity Journey Co on Instagram. We have short clips from our last session, and quite a number of purity tips on the page, to help you keep going and all of that. And just before we go into tonight's session, we have quite a number of people from our community joining us, and I welcome you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for inviting someone. We're excited to be here together again this evening, to share this platform together again. So it's exciting to be here. My name is Oluwatoyin Akiemi, and I am your host for tonight, and we are very excited. I think I said excited like 15 times now, but that really tells you how excited we are to have you here, because tonight's topic is an exciting topic in itself. I read in one of the community groups that sex is happening tonight. Of course, we're talking about the conversation. And like I said before, if this is your first time of joining us on YouTube or in any of our sessions, we are the Purity Journey community, a community of young singles who believe that purity is attainable, and we're taking it one day at a time, holding one another accountable. We run our course every other month, whereby this is a 10 days group study where we teach and talk, actually not teach, have conversations on what purity truly is. How can you get on this journey, do away with a lot of myths and talk about what the facts are, what the truth is, and get accountability partners and basically start all over on what this journey is all about. So we run this course every other month. Our next course is starting on the 20th of August. If you would like to register, the link is going to be dropped in the comment section. And of course, if you go on our Instagram page, you'll find the link to register for cohort 8. That's our 8th cohort, and it's starting basically a month from today. And we can't wait to welcome you. Well, that's one way to, and that's the first step in being a member of the community. Once you've gone through the cohort and you're done, if you then decide, of course, we welcome you to join our Telegram group. Our Telegram group is open to everyone. The link also is on our Instagram page, and the details you'll find on our YouTube channel. Once you join our Telegram, anybody can join our Telegram group community. You don't have to have gone through our cohort or be a member of the community. As long as you found this content, valuable to you, you found it useful, click on the link, join the Telegram group. Don't worry, the group is actually muted, so that we don't have a lot of conversations happening. We share purity tips, share information, and everything going on in TPJ as a whole. And if you want to take a step further from there and believe that you need to be in a place whereby you can interact with people, build relationship, and be friends with people and actually feel accountable, we do have our family hubs. Our family hubs are on WhatsApp. So these are small groups on WhatsApp whereby you get to do life with other like minds. But the caveat is, for you to be in the family hub, you have to have gone through our course, because at least the foundation is we're all on the same page. We understand this purity thing that we are talking about, and we're basically on the same page. And so if you would like to be a part of the family hub and you've already gone through any of our calls, please click on the link to fill your details, and you'll be added to one of the family hubs. If you haven't and you'll also be a part of the family hub, you want to attend our next cohort, join the Telegram group and you'll be added to the family hub, because that is where we hold ourselves accountable and talk about all the gish of those feeling we are feeling from time to time. I know, basically just do life together as a community of amazing people. Well, don't tell anyone I said this, but there are amazing connections happening there as well. I didn't say that, and I do not promise that, but that's happening as well. So let's get into tonight's conversation. I'm sure, as you can tell, I'm quite excited, and that's because this is a beautiful topic. Just as I was about posting this tonight's events on the flyer on my Instagram page, I realized that just a couple of weeks ago I posted on Instagram about people not watching Sex Life, which is the latest which is one of the latest shows on Netflix. And if you've seen just the preview, you've seen just the trailer of that show, you would know that if you are serious about taking the journey, your purity journey, you're serious about your journey of purity, you're serious about getting it right on this journey, you don't want to be associated or watching things like that, because basically one thing we've learned on this journey doing life together is that you need to be intentional. And we spoke about this when we in our last session, where we spoke about purity being a journey. You're intentional about the music you listen to, the shows you watch, the books that you read, even the association that you find yourself in, and basically protecting your heart, because that's what purity truly is. It's not a set of rules of don't have sex, don't do this, don't do that, and all of that. Yes, those things are good. It's good to have boundaries. Those things help a lot and all of that, but that's not where it starts from. That's not the foundation. The foundation is knowing that purity is the whole of you, and it entails your heart as well. So it's not even just what people are seeing you doing, but what you are even doing behind closed doors. And that's why it's a hard thing, and it requires a lot of intentionality. I'm just going to be talking for the next 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to go into conversation. You can ask your questions, so please feel free to, I'm following the conversation on YouTube here, so please feel free to drop your questions on YouTube. And if you're just joining us once again, please say hello. Let's know where you're joining us from, whatever part of UAR you're joining us from. And if you're outside of UAR, please let us know. And of course, subscribe to our channel, comment, and share to your friends and family. So like I was saying, when I when I was about to post tonight's event on my Instagram page, I realized I'd spoken about that, and talking about how you have to be intentional. A few months ago, it was Bridgerton that was the talk of the day, at least in the part of the world where I live in, which is Lagos, Nigeria. It was Bridgerton, and it was supposed to be like a family, well, not family, it was also supposed to be like a romance drama, and that was it. But there were quite a number of explicit sex scenes on that show, and people had a lot to say about it. But the truth, so I'd referred to Bridgerton, I'd referred to, I think it was also 365. That was another movie. And yes, some people will say, why are you mentioning the names of these movies? People are, the human mind is naturally curious. Yes, it's curious, but that's the same mistake people have made, or should I say the generation before us made. Don't tell them about sex. Don't say anything about sex and all of that. And guess what? We go outside and we learn from the wrong people. We go and learn from people who we have no business learning about sex from, or not even just learning verbally, but even learning action-wise, depending on whatever way you got introduced to the world of sex or sexual activity and all of that. It was, don't talk about it, don't do this, don't do that. And of course, if you go through our YouTube channel, you find out that we didn't just start this. We've been having quite a number of sessions. And I remember when we had the Sexpedition, where we had Rip the Tea series, which was basically being there, done that, ripping the tea. So we decided to, just have 4 series, 4 sessions under a series called Rip the Teas. And one of the things that each of the speakers said, all through we dealt on Sexpedition, hearing from both a male and a female. And we also heard from a male and female dealing on pornography and masturbation. And one thing that they all had to say was the fact that nobody told them what it was. It was always either somebody was sexually abused, or it was by influence. And all of them happen to be pastors' kids. I don't want to say that that's an unfortunate thing, but whatever it is, fortunately or unfortunately, they were all pastors' kids, and they had their stories to tell. Thank God for grace. Thank God for bringing them back on track, and thank God for communities like this that's helped some of them to stay on track and all of that. But the point is, nobody was talking about it, which is why I'm mentioning the names of this movie, so you can stay clear, not to awaken your curious mind and then you're wondering, okay, let me go check out these things. No, you don't want to do that. But anyways, tonight we are dealing with sex, and it's not just sex is actually a very vague topic. As short as the word is, the three-letter word, as short as as it is, it's actually a very, very large topic area to deal with. Well, the major thing we are going to be talking about today is sex a physical need? And we think, or we believe, that when we address how we get into this sexual act, or even understanding what need exactly sex is, when we deal with that, we, even me myself, because I'm a single as well, I'm not married, and I'm on this journey of waiting and loving it up until marriage and all. Even when we decide to, when we all understand what type of need sex is, we do believe that then you're able to actually stay on this journey of purity. Then you're actually able to have a better understanding, because you find out that so many people, it's lack of knowledge, allow me to say ignorance. So lack of knowledge, not because they are not smart or something, it's just that they haven't paid enough attention to some particular areas in their life, and they just find themselves, today I'm on track, tomorrow I'm off track, and then you go away, and what usually comes with these things is feeling so guilty and all of that, and you go away from it for a while. And there are still some people, probably I'm speaking to someone now who feels like I am irredeemable. That's absolutely not true. You are very redeemable. You can start this journey all over again, whether you are a virgin or not. All those things at the end of the day, if you watch last session, we addressed it about having technical virgins and all of that. Those things do not matter. It's about your heart, which I already spoke about earlier on, and starting all over. So if you can forgive yourself, if you can speak to yourself that, what, let me start this journey all over again, you can totally start this journey of purity again. The qualification for being on the journey of purity is not whether you are a virgin or not, or whether you have a hymen or not. It's not by body count. It's not by any of those things. So, which makes me continue what I was saying earlier, talking about what kind of need sex is. And we do believe that if we're able to address this, then you know how to deal with sex at this point where you are, and how it can stop being a form of temptation or something that you don't seem to have a hangover or have control over. And so basically, I think the first thing I'd like to say is the fact that sex is amazing. The number one reason why I know that sex is amazing and sex is great is the fact that God created sex. Because God is a good God. Everything he does and he has done, he's doing, and will always do is good. Good is even an understatement. It makes amazing things. It makes awesome things. And he created sex. And therefore, I know that sex is good. So this, I'm not saying sex is good or amazing or awesome because of a sexual experience I've had or not. This is me saying it based on the fact that knowing who the originator is. I know there's a famous proverb that says when the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse is inevitable. So sex has been mentioned in different ways in our community and even in the church, that some people find sex as unholy or as bad, or as or maybe your experience was bad, you were raped or you were sexually abused in one form or the other, probably wasn't rape. And there's just like a warped mindset of what sex is. Some people think sex is for reproduction and all of that. Yes, it is one of those things, but sex is great. Sex is amazing. God created sex, and this was addressed 2 weeks ago. Please go and watch. I believe the reason I keep referring to that is because it is the foundation of everything that we believe in sex, purity being a journey. It is the foundation in which we're even building on for today's conversation. So that's where I want to start from. Sex is amazing. Sex is great. And the reason I know this is because God created sex, and everything he does is good and great and amazing. Yes. So also, then I'll move on to talking about, so how do we get involved in sex? For some people, it's voluntary, and for some, not even some, most times it's voluntary and most times it's involuntary. What am I talking about here? I'm speaking about even for people, there are people who have made up their mind, oh, I want to wait until marriage, or I want to wait till I want to be celibate. This is because I'm sure you know now that it's not just a religious thing. It's not just the people that are celibate are not just Christians. There are people who are celibate for different reasons, like different reasons. And those who are even celibate for religious reasons are not all Christians. There are people who are non-Christians. Their religion is not Christianity, but they've chosen to be celibate and all of that. Whichever way, probably you decide to be celibate. That's you voluntarily making that decision and all, right? And maybe you decide not to be celibate, you just find yourself, okay, as the thing is doing me too, I'm doing it, right? As it's doing me, I'm doing it back and all of that. This sex conversation, can we start with understanding who you are? Each and every one of us is a body. You have a body. My name is Oluwatoyin. I am first a soul. I am Oluwatoyin who lives in a container, which is my body. And that's why when people pass on, we commit their body to Mother Earth, even though we know that that person right there at that moment is not that person. We call the name, person is not going to answer. That person is gone. Everybody has a soul and a spirit. But where the confusion, and I'm sure you're wondering, just stay with me here, don't lose me. And you're wondering, why are we talking about body, spirit, and soul? And we're talking about, is sex a physical need? The first misconception is that a lot of people think that sex is a physical need. Sex is not a physical need. And I don't blame anyone for thinking that. For the longest time, I thought the same too. And the reason is because most times, or not even most times, when we want to have sex or when we feel like having sex, we literally feel it in our bodies. And when you fulfill that act, it's your body, it's not your soul and your soul that connected and then sex happened. It is not, what's it called? It's not your spirit and your spirit that connected and then sex happened. No, it was the two bodies that came together. Or even for people who engage in masturbation, phone sex, self-pleasure and all of that, there was an act on the body. Your sexual organs are physical, you can touch them. Yes, I know there's a part of where you can imagine some erotic scenes and all of that, but most times, which is what ends up leading to masturbation, most times what happens is you are, even when you're imagining those erotic scenes in your mind and all of that, you find yourself touching yourself. That's what happens for people who, have had the experience of masturbation and they fell into that well and all of that. I've had that experience and that's why I can share and all of that. So it's not something mystical. Sex is very physical, very, very physical, but there is more to sex than the physical. It is not a physical need. In fact, I would say, and this is what my opinion, this is what I think, sex is a spiritual need. Sex is a spiritual need. It's a spiritual act. It's not physical. It's very, very spiritual. And that's why even the Bible admonishes us about not going about having sex with anybody. Even I think there's a part in Proverbs that the scripture talks about, don't get yourself tangled with a harlot. How are you getting tangled? Because when you have physical sex at that moment, it doesn't just end there. There is more. There's been a soul connection. There's been a soul tie, right? And that's why, you hear people talking about soul ties or don't even get involved. And I guess this is part of the reasons why our parents or the church didn't talk about these things, because they were trying to protect us from all of these things, but ended up, doing more damage than good by hiding things. Sex is not something that should be in secrecy. In fact, today's generation is so woke. And when I'm talking about today's generation, I'm talking about the 7-year-old or even the 5-year-old. They know absolutely everything that is going on. Anyways, back to what I was saying earlier on. So because our sexual organs are physical, these are the things being touched, these are the things being stimulated, and you actually physically have sex. You're not having sex with a spirit. When you decide to get engaged in that act, you're actually having it physically. That's why a number of people have come to think that sex is a physical need. But do you also know, not just me saying that sex is a spiritual need and all of that, but do you also know that as you are, which is what I referred to earlier, as you are, you have a body, you exist in a body, which is the container and all of that. Do you know that your body has needs? And some of the needs that your body has is some of the needs that your body has is that it wants to feel a certain way. And what media or society has made us think, or even from the movies that we watch and all of that, is, oh, when I start feeling horny, when I start feeling this way and all of that, sex is what I need to do to satisfy that feeling. So now, not trying to sound like a scientist or anything like that, but the truth is our body has needs. Our bodies actually do have needs. And those needs are not, it's not sexual need, as in, how do I explain this? It's not sexual need. Our body has needs. If you are stressed out, and I'm sure, especially if you're from the city of Lagos, I don't need to explain what stress is to you. Just sitting out in traffic is enough explanation of knowing what stress is. And now it's rainy season. One little light shower in Lagos or in Nigeria, the next thing is boom, hours of traffic. If you are stressed and you're not taking good care of yourself, you're not getting adequate rest, you are not drinking enough water, you're not getting enough exercise, you are not getting enough human contact, like human physical contact, the healthy one, yeah, you're not getting all of that. Do you know that your body is going to react in some way? And one of the ways your body reacts is releasing hormones called endorphins. Endorphins are the same hormones released when you actually feel horny. So, but the thing is, because you do not know this, or you are not paying good attention, which is why I said some people don't know because of a lack of knowledge, and it's because they're not paying attention and being intentional about how to take care of themselves, not knowing that this also relates to how you can walk successfully on the journey of purity. So your body feels stressed out and all of that. Of course, at that moment, who doesn't want to come back from work stressed out and get a warm bear hug from that person that you find attractive and just rubs your back and tells you everything is going to be okay, or oh, you look so beautiful, and you know, who doesn't want that? We are human, we are made for connection. No man is an island on his own. So imagine even on a beautiful Tuesday evening like this, that you know, I'm looking at myself and feeling myself and everything, and somebody says, oh, you look nice, or they imagine when I'm now stressed, and at that moment I just want to, you know, I don't know, can anybody relate? Drop your comments in the comment section. Can anybody relate with when you actually feel stressed and tired? Sometimes all you want is you want somebody to hug you, not even say anything. You just want the person to give you a tight, warm hug, and you feel everything is going to be absolutely fine. Can anyone relate to this? That's part of it. But do you also know that that's why even for some married people, they say, oh, sex is a good exercise. Sex is a good exercise, as in if you are stressed out and all of that and you're married, go and have sex, you'll feel great, you'll feel amazing. And yes, I've heard people say that, and it's true. But do you also know that if you exercised, if you went out for a run, or if you ate chocolates, do you know that the same satisfaction that sex will give to you or is giving to you from feeling that way when those hormones are released is the same satisfaction you would have if you took good care of your body? Like, I hope I didn't fly over our heads. What I'm saying basically is our bodies have needs. And part of those needs is taking good care of it, getting enough sleep, exercising. Don't just exercise because you're trying to lose weight. Exercise because you want to feel great. When I started exercising, I wasn't trying to lose any weight. It was boredom from lockdown last year when the pandemic started. But I would come back home after running on the bridge and I realized I felt lightweight. I felt like there was ventilation going through my body and all of that. I felt great. I felt amazing. It's the same way people feel after having sex. So today, I don't know what your schedule is, what you know, your itinerary is. Are you a student? Are you schooling and working at the same time? Are you an entrepreneur? Do you have like terrible work hours? Are you a medical doctor? Like whatever the situation is, can you take out time to create a plan on how you can get adequate rest, on how you can feed your body properly, how you can get enough sunlight, how you can drink enough water? I know for some people, especially if you've not been a part of TPJ or encountered any of our sessions, these things that I'm saying right now, they sound like, what's she talking about? They sound world apart. I know, but they are the simple things that actually help you on this journey. Of course, are there other things aside being stressed out that make us feel like, yes, for the female, when we are ovulating, I didn't even know. I just knew that I just used to feel horny anyhow, for a lack of a better word. And then when I wasn't delivered from masturbation, I would give in to masturbation. It was knowledge and acquiring knowledge and knowing and discovering myself after time. I realized that, oh, this horny thing that happens, it actually happens every month, or at least every other month. Why does it keep happening? And then I voiced out and spoke amongst my friends, and I realized that's when I got to know that when women ovulate, they actually feel horny. Their sexual drive is up. They desire sex. And I kept a tracker. I started keeping a tracker to know when I'm ovulating, so I know the things where I shouldn't be, the kind of music I shouldn't listen to, the kind of people I should not be around. I don't stay around people that I have a crush on. I don't do funny things. Like, I am guarded at that moment. I am protective of myself because I have made a decision, not even to wait. Yes, I've made a decision. My decision to wait until marriage is not because I want to keep myself for my husband. That's not the sole decision, right? Because purity even continues in marriage. I've decided to wait, and because I've decided to honor God with my body. That is the major reason. That should be your major motivation for wanting to get on the journey of purity. Because, like our last two sessions before now, where we dealt about celibacy, we had one of our speakers join us, who Afolabi Adeneye. It was such an amazing session with Tosin Sani. And Afolabi is currently married, but he works outside of Nigeria. So someone like that, like, what, he's married, he has kept himself up until marriage for his wife or whatever the situation is. But what about now? He still has to maintain purity and keep, the marriage bed undefiled. So that's how marriage continues, and purity continues in marriage. So if, in fact, for your own good and sake, not just because you want to, and that's why you can't make it the sole purpose of, I want to wait till I'm married. I want to wait till I'm officially married and all of that. No, you want to do it beyond that, because you will get to that point and realize that even your emotions, you need to keep it in check. It's all a part of purity and doing it to honor God. But anyways, coming back to the conversation for today, these things are things that help you. And even for guys, guys are visual beings who see things, right? I was listening to something on Instagram just before I joined shortly, and the person speaking was saying that the fashion industry was not created to, cause erections, because really what people wear today is literally causing erections and all. So the point is, men are very are visual beings, and therefore when they see things, different things go on attention and all of that. So they are visual. For we women, at least, the point I can relate up onto is, during your cycle, there's your ovulation period where we get horny and all of that. Those are things that have nothing to do with being stressed. And even if you are taking good care of yourself, will these things still happen? Yes. But these are the little things that you are aware of and you have control over, and it can help you stay on this journey of purity. Next, I'm going to be talking about your soul. Everybody has a soul. Your soul comprises of your mind, your will, and your mind, your will. Basically, that's what compromise. That's what gives. That's what compromises of your soul, your mind, your will, your intellect. It's the place where you make decisions and all of that. And whether you know it or not, in case you did not know, now you know. Your soul has needs. Your soul has needs. Your soul has needs. The needs of your soul are intimacy, comfort, connection. Those are the three needs of your soul: intimacy, comfort, and connection. You do not need to be married or be in a romantic relationship to experience these three things. If you are a human being, you ought to be experiencing these things, because you are not an island on your own. We were created for human connections. Nobody, absolutely nobody, can exist by themselves. You need human connection. Think about it. Nobody can exist by themselves. Nobody can. Your soul has a need. Your soul, the three needs of your soul are intimacy, connection, and intimacy, connection are the things that your soul needs. So now I heard somebody give a definition to intimacy, and I can never forget that. It says intimacy means into me see. But for us, and that's where we go back to sex, when you mention the word sex, people think, sorry, when you mention the word intimacy, the first thing people are thinking of is foreplay. The first thing people are thinking of is sex. But intimacy is beyond that. Do you want to tell me you've never been intimate with your dad before? I know it sounds ridiculous right now. That's because we got the definition mixed up. Intimacy is being connected to someone. Intimacy is into me see. Who sees into you? Who can see into me? Who can connect with me? Do you have friends that they are not in the same room with you? They are not where you are. But when you are, when there's something wrong with you, just by a phone call or you guys talking about something random, they can tell, oh, Toy, you're not your usual self. Is everything fine? They can see into you. You need it. I'm not saying go and be extremely close to everybody in the entire world. That's not what we are saying. But at least you should have that group of people, that clique of friends that they are your clique. They are the people who get you. If no other person gets you, these people get you. They get you when you're angry. They get you when you're happy. They get you when you're upset. They get you when you are sick. They get you. They literally get you. They are the round pegs in your round hole. Connection, intimacy. I've experienced this before. I remember, not a good story to share, but I'm happy to share. When I got heartbroken, I was heartbroken and I didn't see it coming. Nah, I didn't see it coming at all. And we broke up and it hit me badly. This is me who had decided to wait until marriage, honoring God, right? And this is that same me who at that moment, because of the hurt that I felt, I was ready to sleep with anybody because it just felt good to just get drunk and be high and go and have sex. I don't know where it came from, but thank God I had my values and my boundaries before then. Thank God I had intimate connections. Thank God I had friends that could stand by me when I was going through that period. But that is how I felt. That is exactly how I felt. And those are the, so sometimes, we go through life circumstances, loss of a parent, loss of a loved one, or whatever it is, some loss, probably even in your career or whatever it is, a relationship or, something intimate like this that I've just mentioned. And at that moment, you in fact, some people say you lose your home training, you lose everything, you just want to be wild. That is your soul craving for something. But we sometimes we spiritualize these things and all of that. You can even be going through the spiritual drought, or not just feeling yourself. You feel out of touch with God, or you just and you feel this way too. You just want to have sex, you just want to go wild and all of that. Same thing with this soul thing. So you don't want to, for your sake, you want to have those intimate people. You want to have people who are your friends, who you can connect with, who you are intimate with, who you can do things with. And therefore, when things go south, because things will go south, we live here, we live in this world. It's not always going to be perfect. One thing we are just assured of being Christians is that there will be victory. But would you go through circumstances and situations and tribulations? Absolutely. But when those things happen, do you have those people who can stand by you, who can comfort you? And even scripture says that you go through some of these things so that you can comfort others when it happens to them. There are some people who have gone through those things, and therefore, when it happens to me or you, they are able to comfort us. And when we go through ours and we get out of it, we are able to comfort others. And the cycle goes on and on and on. Sex isn't a physical need. There is more to sex than that. And by our next session, which is happening the 3rd of August, we'll delve more into this. But for today, this is where we call it, where I stop talking and I allow the conversation to begin. Ask questions or whatever your comments are, please drop them and we're reading and we're going to be responding. But I do hope I've been able to bring some light and knowledge on what sex is, how you can actually, because so many people feel like, see this, I don't know why you guys are calling purity a journey. Purity is not a journey. The cocoa is that I am not sure, especially because of my experience and where I'm coming from. I am so used to doing it every day, having sex every day, or having men around or women around and all of that. I'm so used to masturbating. In fact, it's an addiction that I absolutely do not know what you guys are talking about. I do not know how to get on this journey. I don't even think it's a journey or anything like that. Well, that's not true, because there are people like you who have gone through this, who didn't think they could start all over, who have started all over. But one thing that you need is knowledge. Knowledge helps. Half of the time, people want to go for deliverance and all those things. They are great, they are fantastic. But do you also know that sometimes it's a mind deliverance that you need, where you are aware, oh, I need to pay more attention to my body, rest well, sleep well, do all of that and everything, and then I can push down some of this pressure. I can feed my body well, and even when these endorphins, these hormones need some release or anything like that, they are able to there are other ways I can feed them by there's some food I call comfort food. When I'm stressed out, there are things I just want to take and they actually give me comfort. This Netflix and chill that we try to avoid sometimes, right? Because we know actually is we know we should avoid the kind of Netflix and chill that we all know, which is chilling with the guy and then you chill and go to the next step. No, it's not that one that we're speaking about. I'm speaking about how you can get some comfort food. You're exhausted, get some comfort food. Can give yourself a treat. Netflix and have an amazing time. Have a Netflix party. Do something and have an amazing time. Treat yourself well. Now you know that, okay, so by feeding these hormones and all, I now know other channels in which I can feel these hormones, and it doesn't just have to be sex anymore. Maybe somebody's just right now today that as a lady, when you're ovulating, you are most likely 80% or 90% of the time horny. What are you going to do about it? What do you do in that season? Do you need an accountability partner to speak with you during that period and help you and helps you, stay on course and all of that? Let me give you an experience of one of my accountability partner. This period I was ovulating, and then the way the thing was doing me, honestly, even me, I can't explain. So, so that's the thing. On this journey, we are real with ourselves, because the way I've behaved in some scenarios, sometimes when I think about it, I don't believe it is me. Because, I'm very gentle and quiet and all of that. I don't believe it is me, actually. But this particular day, it was as if there was something wrong with me, like I was drunk. I just wanted to have sex. I knew I couldn't go have sex. There's even nobody to have sex with. Like, I'm sure you know by now that for women, sex was a bit more personal, except you're a sex worker and all of that. Like, you want to have an emotional connection with the person. So it's not just random, gets hooked up with anyone and stuff like that. So, of course, being someone who has had a history of masturbation and all, that would probably have been the next thing. So I called my AP, and which is the short form for accountability partner. I was telling my accountability partner how, this is how I'm feeling so horny and this, and my accountability started talking sense into my head. Guess what? I got upset. I was so angry. I'm like, what's wrong with this one? Please, please, please. I don't need all this spiritual talk. You think I don't know those things? I know, but this is how I feel right now these days. We argued, and I'm grateful for my accountability partner, because what the person literally did was stay on the phone with me, not just ignore me, because I was throwing a tantrum. That's what I was doing. Stayed on the phone with me. We argued. We fought. What remained was for me to insult the person, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I can promise you I didn't do that. And let's speak. As in, we spoke on phone, did all of that. And after, I was still upset. Then I ended the call and everything. And at that moment, I didn't even know what I wanted. I was just like, Holy Spirit, you don't help me at this point. I'm sorry, but I've got to a point I can't help myself. I hardly sleep in the afternoon. I don't take naps. It's difficult. I wish I could, but I'm unable to. I slept for like the next 4 hours. I don't know where that sleep came from or what happened, but obviously it helped. So this purity thing, it's not going to jump on you if you've not decided to be intentional. It's not going to jump on you. You are going to make a decision. I want to do things the right way. Attend the cohort, learn some things, break down some myths, be empowered. See, one feedback we always get back, from people when they join our cohort is that I never knew there were people like this existing, people like me who actually believe in this purity journey of a thing. And that is the lie the devil is selling to us. If you can't beat them, join them. We might be a minority, and that is why we are putting this out there. It's on YouTube. Share it. Share it. Let that person in China see it. Let that person in the south of France see it and all of that. Let them know that they are empowered. They can stand. We might be in minority today, but I know this little light, as we keep shining it, will keep, lightening up the darkness. There are people like you and I who are standing, and we can get more people to do that. It is possible. We are acknowledging that this goes feeling bish is actually there. We are not denying it. We are not denying it. It is there. But how can we manage it? what can we do? And that's what I'll be ending tonight on Let's Talk About Sex. Is sex a physical need? I hope you've had an amazing time. If you do have any questions, please drop them on the comment section, and let's have a great time just chatting and talking. Yes. So I'll just bring in some of the questions that we have now, if we do have any questions. So okay, so someone is saying on YouTube, saying, I am on the purity journey. It's not the sex that I want so bad, but that intimacy with someone I know loves me and I also love. But this road is what leads to the place I don't want to be at anymore. You're right. You are so right about that. So it's really true that sometimes it's not actually the sex that you want. In fact, to be honest, I think I was feeling that day that way few days ago, where you just want that person that is your person that you can talk to, like your own. I remember I used to feel that years ago. I can so relate to this, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this feeling, whereby I just want that person that I can be intimate with, somebody I can share with, somebody that is my person and all of that. But of course, we know where that leads to, when we're together, we are chilling, we are talking. Oh, of course, there's something in your eye. Let me help you take it out and all of that. And before you know it, you're necking, you're kissing, you're smooshing and all of that. But I totally get you. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, so there is a question actually. The question is, what is the balance? What do I do? Okay, well, does anybody have anything to say about this? Let me read the comment again and then take the question again so we can all process it. I am on the purity journey. It's not the sex that I want so bad, but that intimacy with someone I know loves me and I also love. But this road is what leads to the place I don't want to be at anymore. What is the balance? What do I do? Okay, so while I answered this, right, I will encourage you to please drop your comments, even if you don't have any question. The things you've heard tonight, what's your light bulb moment? What's that thing that struck up for you? Or what don't you actually agree with? You might be here listening and you don't agree with this. Even if you're watching this another time, drop your comments. We'll be there to respond to you and all. So now to Ayobami, who has dropped this comments, very real comments that is absolutely relatable, and asking the question, what is the balance? I'm going to give an example. I remember I can't remember how many years ago, I think it was about 4 years ago, and I was single, like single Pringle, extremely single and all. That kind of singleness that is single to the core. That's where I was, and I had gone for this event. I can't remember what it was, but it was this fun event and all of that. I went for it, and when I was leaving, it ended about. It was even like a church. It was a church event, but it was comedy and music. I can't remember what it was, but it was definitely. I went out to have a great time, and I went alone. I decided to take myself out. So this was after the breakup, and doing things just to take yourself out on dates and make yourself happy. And then I got to my car, and my car wasn't starting. And guess what I started doing after that? Rather than call for help and everything, I started crying. I felt so dejected. I felt rejected. I didn't even know. Yeah, it was a singles event. I remember. I'm sure part of the reason why I went was so maybe I will find somebody will see me or something. Oh my God. But yes, it was a singles event. So this is me standing by my car. My car was not starting. I don't know if it was a battery pump. I don't know what it was, but my car was not starting. And people are coming out, holding hands, doing all of that. And then I began to cry like I was an absolute mess. After crying, then I carried myself to the security man and asked me to help. And then he helped and everything. And I remember I got home that day and I called one of my friends and I told her how I felt so terrible and I felt this and all of that. And then she said two things to me. I'm like, oh, so what I said to her was that, oh, if I had I was reminded of how single I am and all of that, because if I had a boyfriend or somebody that at least was in my corner, more like if I was in a relationship where I had a boyfriend, of course, when your car breaks down, who do you call? Straight away, hello, my car is bad, come and get me. How you sort it out? But basically, I am somebody's responsibility. And who doesn't feel great? Who doesn't feel great to be taken care of? Both male and female, we all feel good when somebody cares about you, which is what I'm sure Ayabam is asking about, that intimacy. Somebody connects with you, somebody cares about you, somebody loves you, somebody that is yours, that gives undivided attention. You know, after all the crazy in the world, after the work, the hectic work hours and all of that, you come back and there's that person who is ready to listen to your rant for hours, who is ready to listen to everything that you have to say and all of that, you know. And I was telling my friend on the phone that I felt my singleness became like very pronounced to me, and that was the reason why I cried while I was there that night. Why I was there just few hours ago, because it was the same night I called my friend, because if I had a boyfriend and everything, he would have sorted me out and all of that. I was like, Tony, that's not correct. You don't have to have a boyfriend before you have somebody who cares about you or who loves you to sort out your car. Do you know, if you had called me, do you know how many friends I have in that church? Do you even know that I am friends with the pastor's wife? That's the resident pastor of that church. If you had called me, for example, I would have called her, and do you know how she would have sent, you know, she just needs to make a phone call and their protocol guys or even someone would have come and have been given preferential treatment, being that it was coming from their resident pastor's wife to sort out this person. You don't have to have a boyfriend to have that sorted. And that's it. That's actually the truth. So you might be single right now. You don't have that person to call your own. You don't have that person that you're intimate with. But I'm sure you have friends, which is that soul need I was just speaking about. If you don't, you need friends that you have soul connections with. Yes, I know that there's a certain level of connection that you get with people that are like your friends, very tight friends, that you will not get with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Typical example is you're very close to a guy who is just your friend. He gets into a relationship or you get into a relationship. You find out that you and that person don't talk anymore because there's a higher level of intimacy that they click at that you guys can't click at because you're actually not an item and stuff like that. So I get it. And you know, part of the things I will say is encouraging ourselves. This is part of why we have a community, we have the family hub, encouraging ourselves is actually that feeling of being lonely, right? Which is okay, it's absolutely okay, and all of that. It happens because we are created for connection and all of that. But please don't let the loneliness overwhelm you or overshadow you in such a way that you feel like, oh, I'm so lonely, I'm miserable, I don't have it. No, 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 no. You should have friends who care about you. Even you, in case you don't have, start by extending love to the people around you. Extend love to the people around you. Care about them. Show love. There's something that one of my mentors taught me called emotional bank account. It's the same way we go to banks to make withdrawals. If you cannot make, in fact, it's a criminal offense in Nigeria if you take a check to the bank to cash from an account that is empty. So meaning you can't be issuing dodge checks. You can't do that. Your account is empty and you're issuing checks. You can go to prison for that. It's a criminal offense. It's the same way that for you to be able to make withdrawals from your friends, from your friends and all of that, from those emotional bank accounts, you have to have made deposits. So let's go on a challenge today to begin to deposit in emotional bank accounts of our friends. If you don't have that one or close friend, start today. Like, who is that person that I'm cool with, that I think understands me? Begin to, you know, invest in people, make deposits, so that when days like this come that you feel like you're not feeling, you're able to make withdrawals. You're able to be there for you. Today, earlier on today, I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't. I wasn't feeling great. And I reached out to two friends, a male and a female. I told them, I'm not feeling great. How do you feel? I said, I feel upset and I feel hurt. And then one of them called me and said, what is this about? And we had a conversation. During the course of that conversation, I cried. And that was me letting it out. And after that, I felt great. I felt fantastic. I want to believe that the only reason why I need to drop a one-liner to a friend and the person responds to me immediately and we can talk about it, and the person like boosted my morale, spoke to me about it, what the issue was and all of that, and I felt good. It's because I've made enough deposits, emotional deposits in that bank account for me to place withdrawals on. Some of us will withdraw that the account is in red and we still want to make more withdrawals. So that might not be the situation now. You are a great person, you feel great, and all you contribute and all of that. What I'm trying to say is that don't neglect these soul connections. Yes, we are all waiting for the one, but while the one is on the way, let's find people that we can be intimate with, people who get us, who, you know, when some guys or some girl says, oh, she's my guy, she's my guy, and stuff like that, have that person in your life, and let's just keep pushing it till we all get to that point. Because guess what, people are lonely in marriages. Have you met some lonely people in marriages? People are very lonely in marriages, and that's why they say you have to be complete before you can go into marriage. You cannot go and get married because you feel lonely. You will enter marriage and you get married and you still continue to be lonely and all of that. So I hope I've been able to like address this to a large extent. And basically, I just want to encourage you, and I'm giving you a hug to just tell you, don't worry, that perfect person is coming. But in the interim, make sure you're having an amazing time and making great friendships. Yeah. Okay. So okay, that's great. So I have a question here from an anonymous who says, isn't it better to masturbate than have sex? Okay, this question is like a setup, because I would have loved to engage this person. Like, we're having conversations. Let's be real. Why do you think it's better to masturbate? I know the advantages, and actually, if you heard people, you won't get pregnant. There's no STD. You know, there are quite a number of things that you will never contract from. You can't cheat on yourself, so you're sure of nobody cheating on you. You know, no pregnancy, no STD. Some amazing benefits of why masturbation is actually better off than having sex. But really, if before I even go, I don't, you know what, don't let me even start from the spiritual perspective. Let me start from even the physical, right? So the truth, when you decide to engage in masturbation, so first of all, I want to believe that you're feeling horny, you're feeling the sex urge and all of that, and that is why, you know, there's that thing of masturbation. So you're thinking, maybe I do it with myself, self pleasure, or actually carry it out with a human being, of which now we know that the human being does not have to be opposite sex. There's now same sex, but that's a conversation for another day. We're not going into that tonight. But anyways, this so you're now thinking it's not better of myself. Can I ask, to what end? To what end exactly? You are, you know, I want to sound nice, but I think I should just say it as it's coming. You are destroying yourself. That is what it is. And whoever asks this question, I will encourage you to go and listen to the one on our channel, the masturbation and pornography edition we had with Tolu, yes. Go and listen. It was a guy who came to share with us his journey of addiction. I remember one of the words he said to us is that he would look at himself and he just knew that, see, I am destroying my life and my destiny at this point, because he was done with pornography. He had now moved on to watching humans. I don't know what it's called, but basically it's humans having sex with animals. Those are the things that, you know, fantasized him. He said he couldn't even be sure of being left in a room with a child. He wasn't he wasn't sure of that. So, you know, these pedophiles and people we see on, you think they just, of course they just don't decide. This is where it starts from. Because, and he was talking about, he had watched pornography, masturbation so much that, see, those things were now, they didn't matter anymore. They were not satisfying the urge you now had. You're literally destroying yourself. That's what it is. Because what you're now doing is that how God has created sex, which is supposed to be amazing and great, is that you are satisfying your partner. Your partner is satisfying you, which is what it's supposed to be. You've now taken up the task upon yourself to satisfy yourself. It will give you great pleasure. And it goes on. Next time you want to do it, next time you want to, and that's how it becomes an addiction. And then the next thing is wanting to break out of the addiction. The other thing is that the truth is, if as a single now, you cannot hold yourself, you don't have the discipline not to indulge or engage in pleasing yourself when please send that question to Zoom. It's easier for me to read on Zoom. I just got an anonymous question from someone, but please send it to Zoom. It's faster that way for me. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's what you're doing is that you've taken it upon yourself to give yourself self pleasure. what will happen is you are going to get used to that way of life. Even when you are married, legally married, and you now have a partner that can satisfy you, your partner will never be able to satisfy you because you've gone on another journey entirely. Because um part of these things, you are touching yourself, you're understanding where the thing hits right and stuff like that. Your partner will never understand that because you're supposed to be doing it together and keep understanding one another and all of that. So you guys are having great, amazing, mind-blowing sex, but you decided to do this to yourself and all of that. So now, and one of the, if you read this book, The Weight by Megan Good and Delvin, Franklin Delvin and all, they talked about how just waiting and having discipline, and that's even me, I've experienced it. When you are sexually disciplined, you are actually able to be disciplined in other areas of your life, because sexual pleasure is one of the greatest feelings ever, but you're able to put a hold on it. You are actually able to, deal with other areas, your finances, timekeeping, things that on a normal day you struggle with when it comes to being disciplined, because you've had what's it called, you have a hold of this sexual thing. You are able to do that. So my question for you is to what end? What are you trying to make of yourself? To what end? It's not easy. I know that. I've been there and all. But the thing is, it's an insatiable feeling. You keep going on and on till you become addicted. You're literally just going down the drain. So you really just want to cut it off. So masturbation is not better than sex. Neither is premarital sex better than masturbation. It's not, because you get married and continue. You graduate to sex toys. You graduate to pornography. You graduate to a whole lot of other things. So you don't want to get involved in all these things. Now, to the question, how do you help it? Is by getting accountable. Get an accountability partner. These are part of the things we deal with in the cohort. Even in the family hub, there's something we have called bazooka alert, which is basically when you're feeling horny or you're feeling that sexual desire. They just, it's like when you go on your chats on your keyboard, that alarm sign, we just, when anybody drops it, we all understand what the person is talking about. It's called bazooka alert. It means that this person is feeling this certain way and is ready to undo. It is ready to scatter the place. And people are able to hold you accountable. So, but if in your mind you already are processing that sex is better than masturbation is better than sex, you can't win this journey. You can't win this fight. You can't. So I just hope I've been able to say things to help you literally know that. To what end? If you can answer that question, to what end exactly is this? What are you doing with yourself? What do you want to do with yourself? Okay, I think I've kind of dealt enough with that question. And if you think that this wasn't enough, this wasn't answered enough, you can reach out privately to us and we'll take this further. So I have another question. I think we'll take 2 more questions and we can call it, even though we still have some time, but so this isn't too long. I'm going to be reading this question. It says, and the question says, I was exposed to sex at a very early age, and this increased my libido to the point where I could only get satisfaction from multiple people over the period of a week. Even with that, I am drawn to sex toys when the pleasure is not enough. I am trying to be better, and I have reduced the number of people I indulge with to my boyfriend only. What can I do to move on from this? You make it sound so easy. I don't think it's something I can just stop like that. I want to take a deep breath before answering this. Thank you very much for sending in this question, Miss Anonymous. This is obviously a female, and I'm not making it sound easy because it is easy. I'm not even trying to. If there's any easy thing I'm trying to say here, is the fact that I have been there. There are people on this call, people logged in right now, people in our community, people that I know, people in leadership, so real people that have been here, addicted, didn't know how to get out, and they literally had to find a way. So because I've experienced this myself, seen people's journeys, seen their experiences, I know it is possible. So rather than easy, the message I'm trying to pass across is that it is possible. It is possible. Is it easy? No, it is not easy, because guess what? this is something you've gotten at. In fact, I love the way you've explained to you got exposed early, you have a very increased libido, so you're used to being satisfied by multiple partners. When multiple partners wasn't working, you engaged in sex toys, and now you are trying. In fact, I feel like you're on the way to you're already on the journey, you're already on your healing process already. I think you're already there, because you've gone from multiple partners plus sex toys to just one person, but it's still there, and now you're trying to move out of, not engaging in premarital sex with just one person. In fact, I should give you a round of applause, because you're doing well. You have the consciousness of, I want to be better at this, I want to get better. So now what I need you to understand is that purity is a journey. The greatest mistake or the undoing we do to ourselves is when we think that, oh, now that I've heard this, now that I know this, I don't want to have sex anymore, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to do that, I'm throwing out all the sex toys, I'm doing all of this. That's great, that's amazing, but you didn't get there in one day, so you're not going to get out in one day. That's the truth. Yes, we are Christians, we believe in the things of God, we are very spiritual, we pray, we fast, but you're not going to get out of it in one day. That's why even Jesus says some of these do not go out except by prayer and by fasting. Not fasting. So it's a decision to be intentional and take it one day at a time. So you want to start with, what are my triggers? What are your triggers? What triggers you? What are your boundaries? Are you still doing sleepovers? Do you do sleepovers and all? In fact, you want to take this serious, and that's why I encourage you, please go and watch the videos we have. We've had amazing people come share their personal journey and keep it real with us, where they share with us. I remember Tony sharing with us his journey and all of that, where at one point, him and his you know, um partner, they will go to church, and when they get back from church, they will go ahead to have sex. But it was just a point where he knew that he had to stop. There was one point he threw the decision to God, and God, is you that will help me. But it doesn't work that way. It takes two to tango. It's you and God doing this together. So what I'll say to you is that it's not easy at all, but it's achievable. It's attainable. Start as a journey. This is the decision. What are my values? What are my boundaries? What am I going to stop doing? Is your partner, because from what you're saying, you're in a relationship, does your partner believe in you guys continuing to have sex? Because if you guys got into this relationship with being open to sex and sex being on the table, the truth is you can't just decide that I'm not having sex again and you expect that relationship to continue as it is. It's going to be difficult. So if you are in a relationship whereby, in fact, you guys decided to put sex on the table, or you didn't have conversations about premarital sex and everything, you probably want to put an end to it. I know it sounds brutal. Maybe this is when you accuse me again of making it sound like it looks easy, but it's no. It's that you've made a decision to honor God with your life. You've decided to make something out of your life, and therefore in fact, you are going military. You are going brutal with yourself. And that's because maybe when you go into the relationship, you committed to it being a sexual relationship. So you need to let your partner know the terms of agreement has changed. There are now terms and conditions. So are we on this together? Because if you are both not on the same page, it can't work. It's not going to work. So if you're not on this page, you want to have a conversation. You want to get accountable. Immediately, I think you should get an accountability partner. And in getting an accountability partner, your accountability partner doesn't have to be somebody who is older than you. It doesn't have to be a pastor, which is a lot of people. It's someone that shares same values with you. These values with you. That's number one. Number two, you respect the person. So when I'm speaking about respect, meaning if this person speaks to you, you would listen. You will be honest with the person, because there's absolutely no point if you're not going to tell the person the truth, tell the person with the challenges you are facing, or even days when you fail, not opening up to your partner, to your accountability partner. There's absolutely no point. So I've said, I think, 4 things now. Decide that you're getting on a journey. List out what are your values. Where are you going to? List out those things, how you see yourself. You might not be that person now, because these things matter. Like, I'm a person of integrity. I know it has nothing to do with sex, but it's a part of it, because purity is the whole of you. It's in your everyday life, everything that you do. It's in everything. So you're listing your boundaries. No sleepovers, no vacations. Maybe I even want to know if you need to log off your Netflix subscription because of the things going there. Log off. You're paying attention to the music. You are checking out the friends that you're hanging with who probably encourage this lifestyle. So these are the things that you do step by step that help you and daily. So today, in fact, I know that's what I do every day. Today is a fresh day. God, I need your grace. I need your help. Because it's not just about having physical sex. The things that go on in my mind matter too. God help me today. When we come back today and it's been a successful journey, the next day you commit it into God's hands. And that's how we take it one step after the other. But for this person, if you haven't been a part of our cohort, and even if you've been a part of our cohort before, I encourage you to attend cohort 8 again. Attend cohort 8. If you've been part of a cohort, please join the Telegram community, join the family hub. Let's hold hands together and walk this journey together because it's attainable. And I know in few months it's you that's going to tell people that it's actually easy. Yes, so I hope I answered that question. Okay, yes, this is somebody saying this. This is somebody sharing their experience, giving a comment saying that plot twist, but masturbation is not the easy way out or better option. Sex is the norm. Masturbation isn't, and it's very destructive. So that's somebody's opinion on that. Yeah, okay. So I just want to check if I have further questions here, and that would be it. Okay. Yeah, so somebody here says, Toby says sex was designed for husband and wife and not with yourself or with toys. Another person says controlled sexual pleasure is a disciplined life free of addictions. You got that for me? Yes. Controlled sexual pleasure is a disciplined life free of addictions. And somebody else says the journey is a decision to be intentional and it is achievable. It's been a beautiful evening. I think I've had a great time myself. I've learned a lot listening, and just speaking through it. And I think if there's anything I have to say again, that's if we have no more comments and questions, is fact that purity is attainable. Purity is attainable. I want you to, please, can you type that in the comment section? Say that to yourself. Purity is attainable. Purity is attainable. Purity is attainable. Purity is attainable. It is attainable. Once you know that and you believe in that, that's the beginning. Purity is attainable. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Purity is attainable. Forget what they are saying. You cannot sit down on Netflix and be watching Sex Life or Bridgerton or 365 and then be wondering if purity is attainable. They don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I'm falling. See, let me give you an example. And this is the last thing. There was a series I was watching on Netflix. Like, I'll mention it as well. Bold Type. What's it about? 3 girls living in New York, city life, fashion industry, basically just pushing that as a lady, you can get things done and all of that. Amazing series. I was enjoying it. And I went on and on. 3, 1 in a relationship, they were having sex. But no explicit, by the way, no explicit scenes, nothing like that. The other one, interested in girls. The third one, what's that one? Interested in boys, but she also used these sex toys and all of that. And I kept enjoying it. I was loving the fashion sense. I was picking things from it. I was loving the conversations. Like, it was just a beautiful story, really, about achieving whatever you have in your heart and all of that. And then one day I'm watching it and the Holy Spirit asked me, Tony, are these your values? And I'm like, they've come. This one, there's no sex in it. They're having normal conversations and picking things and all of that. And then I continued. By the time I was watching the next episode again, Tony, are these the values that you stand for? There's somebody within this people in this series you're constantly watching every day. Sex toys, masturbating and sex toys. And that person is interested. She's dating a girl, kissing the girl. In fact, they used to make the girls making out more explicit compared to even the man and the one who was dating a guy. And then the one who was dating a girl, dating a guy, not so explicit. I even loved their relationship. It was very mature. I love you and everything. So, but the truth is, are they the values that I stand for? I might say that, God forbid, I can never kiss a girl, but trust me, most of the people who started kissing girls or kissing boys kissing boys, they did not wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going out to date and kiss a boy. I'm going out to date and date a girl. It started from somewhere. It started from somewhere, gradually slipping into your mind. So while I can sit here confidently, and while even scripture says that take heed lest you fall, I can never kiss a girl. I can never be attracted to a girl. It's a matter of time. So I'm sitting down, putting in my mind, my heart, someone who is constantly having sex with a boyfriend, even though it's not explicit, but I love the kind of love that they share and everything, but they are having sex and making it open and okay to my mind. Another one is constantly using sex toys and stuff like that. Okay, masturbation. Another one is interested in girls. My, oh, God forbid, I can't kiss a girl and everything. But it's a lie. It's subtle. It starts from somewhere. So while the bold type might be so different from 365 and everything, what are your values? What do you stand for? What are the what do you stand for? What are your boundaries? What matters to you? So while when Bridgerton came out, I didn't have the power not to watch it. I was telling myself, oh, I can watch it, nothing can happen. 365, I met somebody watching it and I joined them to finish watching it and all of that. It was wrong. I dealt with having to flush that out for days. When Sex Life came out, and that's how you see yourself growing on this journey. When I saw Coming Soon on my Netflix page, Coming Soon, and I saw Sex Life, not even, in fact, I didn't click on it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Netflix. When there's something coming soon, when you just go on your page and all of that, it begins to play the trailer by itself without you clicking on it. And it started playing it. I'm like, okay, I'm watching. I see that the storyline is very, very interesting. Oh, this is a fun and everything. But then I begin to see even the name is Sex Life. What else again? And I told myself, if I was angry, I said, what rubbish. Netflix is slowly pushing soft porn, and people are falling for it because you're not going to go and look for X something on this thing, those X sites, or going to go and look for blue film as they used to call it and everything. You are feeling justified. I'm not watching pornography. It's a lie. The movies today are having soft porn and everything, and I was upset about it. When I was done being upset, I'm like, Auntie Toyin, you've grown, no? Even before you want to check like one episode, and I say, oh no, this is not good. You're just angry from preview. Okay, you're doing well. You're doing well. So it's a journey. That's the beauty of this thing. Purity births freedom, and it is a journey. That is what it is. And I hope today we've been able to have a wholesome and real conversation telling you what sex is and how you can continue on this journey of purity, overcoming sex one day at a time. Sex is amazing, it's mind blowing, it's hot, it's great, and all of that. But I hope tonight we leave you empowered to know that purity is attainable. If you've had an amazing night with us tonight, why don't you subscribe to our channel, share this link with others, drop a comment, drop something else, your light bulb moment. Even if you're watching this after, drop a light bulb moment and all. And of course, go to our Instagram page. We're going to be dropping snippets from today's video by tomorrow, and also dropping some punchlines and everything. Comment on it. How was the session? How did it go? And we do hope to see you again on the 3rd of August, which is our next session. We're not telling you what it is, but watch out on Instagram and on our Telegram community what our next topic is. I do hope you've had an amazing time, just as we have. And you can always join us if you're new to the Purity Journey community. Check the details on just check below. You're going to find all our details, how to reach us. If you want to speak to somebody, you want to join the community, you want to register for the next cohort starting on 20th of August. Just all the details are there. Reach out to us. It's been an amazing evening, and I just want to say thank you for joining us once again. Have an amazing time, and tell somebody about the Purity Journey community. You're an ambassador, you're a light bearer. Go out there and light somebody's torch. Have an amazing time. God bless you. See you again. Bye.